you doing? It's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be the beginning of my yearly reading challenge where I attempt to read books from my pile of shame. If you don't know, my pile of shame is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Basically books that I started and put down for months, years, and I just never finished them. So I'm attempting to finish some of them. I'm going to show you part of my physical TBR. I'm saying part because frankly, there's a bunch more. Yeah, that's some of them. In my July TBR, I asked you which ones you wanted me to prioritize and attempt to finish this time. So those are the ones I will be starting with. I'm a little nervous because they're all pretty much big books. But the first one is a very, very popular adult fantasy series. This is the first book, Kings of the Wyld. I started this in July 2019. I put it down about 100 pages into it and I just never continued. My excuse is that, well, sometimes I don't have an excuse for them, but in this case, it's because I could see the sense of humor, I could see the jokes, but I wasn't laughing, and I was like, maybe it's just not a good time right now for it. Maybe it's just me right now. So I put it down, and I just never continued because I was scared I wasn't going to love it as much as everyone else. There, I said it, I admit it. So I will be putting it down. I'm starting over, by the way. I'm not starting at 100 pages into it because I forgot at this point. It's been 3 years. Next is the one that you guys voted for the most, I think. The Toll by Neal Shusterman. This is the last book in a trilogy. Why sci-fi? I enjoyed the rest of the trilogy, so there's technically no reason for me to not finish this book, but for some reason, it's partially the size. You can say I put it down at about like 60 pages into it, and I just never finished it. I don't know why. I literally do not know why. So I wish my library had this one as an audiobook. I feel like it would be a good audiobook. Plus it's twice. I feel like it should be a really quick read. But yes, it's also one of my challenges this year to attempt to finish series. So, you know. And last but not least, I think this is going to be the last one I will have time to finish. The Shining by Stephen King, because that one, my library does have it as an audiobook, so I will be attempting it that way because I do like to listen to audiobooks and, you know, when I can't physically sit to read. This one, I put it down midpoint. I was at page 198. I have this really bright edition though. It's kind of cute, but yeah, I just had very little interest in it. I know it's really popular. I know there's a movie, never watched it. I know it's horror, and I remember it's the haunted... Is it a house or like a hotel? Doesn't really matter. A family there. And I think it's the dad getting possessed or something. Or anyway, we'll find out because I will have to start over and figure it out. I do know the like very specific scene that you see in the movie, but that's it. So yeah, we'll see. All of these, by the way, if I'm not enjoying them, I will just put them down and get rid of them. I'm not like forcing myself, torturing myself to just read books for the sake of it. But I do want to decide, because these have been on my currently reading shelf on Goodreads for years. I think this one was like almost 5 years ago. I'll put the dates on the screen because this one is shameful, like a shameful amount of time. Just decide if you're going to finish it or get rid of them. Like there's no point of just being in the middle of a book for 5 years. The rest, I will hopefully be reading them a different time, but I only have time for a couple. I'm going to try to read them within the next week-ish. And hopefully things go well. So let's see how it goes. Hello, I wanted to update you on the book because I am a little bit past where I had put the book down the first time, and I kind of know why I did it. I feel so bad, but like, I'm not invested. I do love the idea, the premise. They're following a group of old mercenaries that kind of regroup the band because they have to go save the daughter of one of them. Fantastic. But the sense of humor doesn't work for me. I'm seeing the joke and I'm not really laughing, and it's reminding me, and I don't know if anyone's going to agree, but it's kind of reminding me a little bit of Princess Bride. Kind of a little bit. Obviously the jokes are a bit more crass in this one, obviously, but I'm having similar vibes from this one, and I think for my own mental health, I'm going to push through them like 50% into it, just so I know for sure it's not for me. And if I'm still not enjoying it, I think I have about like 100 pages more to read, so not too much. Once I have read those 100 pages, if I'm still not enjoying myself, I will be putting it down and getting rid of it. I just thought I was going to give this book 5 stars. That's why I'm having so much trouble admitting to myself it's not for me. So it's not easy, but it's probably gonna happen. But hopefully I change my mind in the next 100 pages. a quick shameful update. I think I'm gonna stop reading this book. I really was not expecting this. I really thought this was going to be the best book that I would read between the three. I'm almost 50%. I didn't even make it to 50%. I'm at page 226 out of almost 500. So I'm like almost at 50%. I'm not interested. I'm bored. And I really hate this because I thought I was going to love this book. So like I've never been this torn, at least not in a while, for this challenge, because usually it's like, oh, no big deal, I'll either finish it or I'll get rid of it. And I don't want to get rid of it. I want to love this so badly, but I'm just not. So I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start The Toll, which it's already upstairs. It's a wide sci-fi, so I feel like even though it's like 600 pages, it should be a pretty quick read. I'm going to go through that. Hopefully it goes well, and then once I'm done with it, I might give this one a second shot. I'm not even confident I will do that because I'm not enjoying it, but it's so annoying because it sounds like it should be something I'm enjoying. Like the friendship between the mercenaries, like being sidetracked constantly, and it just, I'm really sad about this one. I really thought I was going to give this like 5 or like 4 stars, and here I am DNFing it, possibly forever. So I'll update you, but yeah, I feel the shame right now.
That lighting is so harsh. There you go. I started reading The Toll, and so far so good. I don't know why I put it down because it reads really fast. It's a YA book, so not a problem. I'm glad I continued this one over the other one. I still feel bad and like I'm gonna go back and finish it, but maybe not, because I'm past where I was at when I put it down the first time, and frankly, again, I have no idea why, because it's fine. It's fine. It is so hot outside, but I realized I didn't update you on the audiobook yet, The Shining. This is where I'm at in the audiobook. I'm almost where I was at when I stopped reading. I'm at chapter 19 and I stopped at chapter 22. So I'm 36% into the audiobook. So things are progressing. For some reason, I remember it being really slow paced, and I don't know if it's because I've been listening to it as I'm like cleaning instead of like walking or like getting ready in the morning or something. Maybe that's why it passed faster. I don't know. I'm trying to justify it, but it's fine. I'm not deeply invested, but I don't see yet why I put it down. Maybe just because I wasn't super invested. I feel like sometimes I put books down when I'm not loving them as much as like everything else I've been reading at the moment, so it really depends. If I've been reading a bunch of really good books, then my tolerance is lower. I don't remember what I was reading, but I did look back when I started because I was curious. I knew it had been a very long time. I talked about it in my TBR in September 2017, and I was already like in the middle of it almost where I put it down. So it's been almost 5 years. I think this is the most shameful book in the pile of shame because 5 years I've been in the middle of it. So soon I will be exactly where I put it down, and we're going to finally attempt to finish it completely. But yeah, so far it's fine. I haven't seen a movie, which I feel like people have seen the movie more than they have read the book. But so far there's nothing crazy. Kid that sees imaginary friend that isn't really an imaginary friend, and then the father's an alcoholic, and you know they go and work in this remote hotel. It's fine. It's fine. No real feelings so far, but we'll see. Apparently the ending is not the worst one of Stephen King, so we'll see. Okay, so I wanted to update you on my reading so far. I am getting very far in this one. I'm at chapter 43, which is page like almost 500. It's fine. I don't know why I've been getting a few comments telling me that this is so bad. It's fine. Like, I'm not in love with it. There's a lot happening. I do feel like it's probably too long, but it's fine so far. But I've been listening to The Shining as an audiobook, and I'm past 50%, and frankly, I'm past the point I was at, basically, and I'm meh. Like, the dad is losing it, and the writing is just so gruesome, and not like in a good horror way, like, oh my god, like I can't wait to figure out how it's going to end and just see it unfold, but like it's just gruesome for the sake of it. It's just a lot of like, I'm not feeling it, basically. I'm not sure I'm going to finish it, but we'll see. I might. But once I finish this, I'm going to give a second shot to The King of the Wyld. But I don't feel like it's going that well. I mean, this one is fine, but like, I don't feel like I'm going to find some favorites in this video, but I mean, it is the Pile of Shame challenge. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't, and it's fine. But that's the update, kind of meh. I think I'm going to finish this one today though, so I'll update you later. Okay, so I finish The Toll, and I get why people hate it. I didn't hate it though. I just found the ending kind of unsatisfying. I feel like the book is just too long. I understand what happened. Like, I feel like the author, the story became bigger and bigger throughout the whole series, and at the end it's kind of hard to wrap it up, and then it goes in a direction I wasn't expecting, and I don't know. Like I said, I didn't find it satisfying, but I don't think it was a bad ending. It's gonna take me a few days because it's probably between a 3 and a 4 stars, somewhere in there, but I can't say I left it though. So it is what it is. It's done though. Now I'm gonna give this one another shot, try to read a couple pages, and if I'm still hating it tomorrow morning, I will stop this challenge, and I need to go and dismantle my bed frame to move it around into the other room, so I'm going to be listening to this audiobook, and we'll see if I can make some more progress, because this morning I put it down, and I preferred just being in silence than listening to it, which is never a good sign. So one last shot to these two, and we'll see how this blog ends. Okay, this is the final update. I wanted to let you know how things are going. First off, The Toll, I have chosen, this is a 3.5. I'm rounding it down to a 3 stars because while the ending wasn't bad, I feel like it was just unexpected, and even though the author tried to set it to happen throughout the book, I feel like it's still out of nowhere in the whole trilogy, and I don't know if anyone else will feel the same, because the book per se was not bad. I enjoyed it. I went through it quite fast, but there's just a ton that happens to set that ending, and the ending was just kind of meh to me. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm glad I finished the series though. Now let's talk about The Shining by Stephen King. If you don't know, I mean, the man is like slowly losing his mind. He's already not a great husband and father. He used to be an alcoholic and was violent when he was, and then he sobers up, goes to the hotel for work with his family, and then he's starting to slowly lose it. I just was there working and hearing him calling her in his head, still at the moment, I'm sure eventually he says it out loud, calling her like a bitch. And I'm like, why am I listening to this? It's so violent and I'm already so frustrated, and I just pressed pause and I was working in silence for hours because I just could not stand to continue this book. If that's not the clearest sign that this is not a book that I want to finish. So 60%, I'm done forever with it. I can't do this. And then the one that probably everyone is curious about, did I finish or did I not finish Kings of the Wyld? I pushed through because I was at 226 when I put it down the last time. I think that was like another crass joke, which I feel like people are going to be like commenting about that, but like, I get that the humor works really well for the characters, and if it was just a handful of jokes throughout the book, I would have been fine with it. But like, I was bored, and then you would add jokes that made me feel like I was in the target audience, and I would just be like, okay. It made me realize that I was not having fun when I'm supposed to. Like, for example, there's a scene, I put a post-it to remember, 243, the zombie that isn't a zombie, whatever, he's saying how the magician gave him a potion that gave him an erection for 2 weeks and he had sex with all the whores. And like, I get that it's a joke, I get that it works for the characters, but I don't think it's funny. So I'm like, okay. And there's like so many penis jokes. Like another one, someone is saying that, oh, she cut off someone's eggplant, I'm trying not to get demonetized, and shoved it in his mouth, blah, blah. And one of the guys like, well, you couldn't do that to me, basically, because he has a big dick. And I'm like, ha, okay. But like, I'm not laughing, and it's just another one and another one. And every time makes me realize that this book was not written for me. Like, I was not in their mind at all when this was written, which is fine. Not everything is for me, but I just couldn't see myself. I put it down at 292 because it got boring again. I couldn't see myself reading 200 more pages of that. I just couldn't. I couldn't. And it sucks because sometimes like it would pick up again for like
30, 40 pages, and then it slows down. The story barely started, and like I'm more than halfway through it. I am done forever with this book. It's okay. It wasn't for me. I'm really disappointed. Out of all, like this whole pile of shame between these 3 books, this is the one I feel the most, not shame, but like the most disappointed in, because I genuinely thought this was going to be a favorite, and it's not. It's really, really not. And last night, because I was second guessing myself, maybe I was starting to feel like a reading slump coming, so I started The Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler, and I read 75 pages. So it's not me, it's definitely you. I'm just, yeah, it's just not working for me. It's okay. It's okay. That was the point of the challenge, to decide what was happening with some of the books in my pile of shame, which is still hanging out there. And it's not even all of them, but 3 that are out of the pile of shame is an accomplishment. Yes, 2 of them I didn't finish. I gave them a genuine shot though, and like I can sleep easy now. Like I know that they weren't for me. I read at least 50% of them, and it's not going to change. It's not going to magically pick up afterwards, and I finished one. So I think it was pretty successful nonetheless. I do have a few more left for next year. I'm sure I'll accumulate more. I've been doing much better though, deciding if I'm finishing a book or not. So I've been putting books down, but it's still something I need to work on. So I will probably be able to continue this challenge next year. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in an upcoming video very soon. Bye. Let me know, by the way, if you read these and how you felt about them, because I really wanted to love this, and I really don't. Kiss on a cheek, or loving just